Depression and low mood. How to get out of the spiral. Hello everyone, this is Stella Wembley. I hope you are doing well. This is a video, as you can see from the title, about depression and low mood. I am recording this video while I'm feeling down. I don't know if it's depression, but for sure my mood is not good at the moment. I'm not doing very well. Okay. But the fact that I am here recording this video, I think is a really good thing. I think it's really important to talk about this topic. I think many people, I think especially musicians, suffer from depression, and I think it's a very common thing, but not many people talk about this. And I think it's really helpful. It's really helpful to talk about this issue, to talk about mental health, and to understand, first of all, what is depression, how to understand if you are depressed, how to understand the difference between depression and low mood, because there is a difference, okay? It's not the same thing. Understanding this, hopefully we can find a solution. We can find a way to get out of this spiral, to break this cycle. So what is depression? What is depression and how to identify it? So depression is different and is much worse than having just feeling down, okay? Feeling down, okay, low mood is when you have a bad day. It can last a few days, between 3-4 days, but usually doesn't last over more than 7 days, okay? It doesn't last more than a week, basically. And it can be feeling sad, feeling a bit, not motivated, a little tired, and even, crying and feeling anxious about something. But it's really something that it happens and it can last a few days, but then it just usually goes away. Perhaps it can be triggered by some events. If you have a fight with someone, if you have a bad day at work, if you are a musician and, perhaps you're writing and composing and you're finding difficult to focus, or for any reason your song is not, let's just say that your music production is not going well, you're not satisfied with your work, and you can feel down, you can have issues with your mood and feeling like your mood is very low. Whereas depression is a mental health illness, is a mental health issue that can be diagnosed by a professional, and it usually lasts for over 2 weeks. And it's not just about feeling down or feeling low and not having the motivation for doing things and feeling, a bit, not feeling motivated, but it's really a feeling of that you're not there, like you are living your life, but you don't feel alive. You don't have any sort of motivation for anything. at all, and you find difficult even waking up and going, basically, having a shower, or just to do the basic tasks. The basic tasks are impossible, almost impossible at times for you to complete. So even eating and drinking, and of course, there are really, really, really bad scenarios and cases of very, very bad depression, when people find difficult to even to wake up and do the normal things, the easy things that each of us is used to do every day. And depression, it really takes over you. So it's like you don't have your own will. It's like your willpower has been taken away from this monster. Okay, it's like something outside of you that is controlling you. At least that's how I see it. And so depression usually doesn't go away by itself unless you do something to improve your mood. And depression, in many cases, has to be treated with medications, which can be medications prescribed by your doctor, or can be medications that are herbal remedies, which are the ones that I personally prefer. I want to be totally transparent with you. Some people, well, the closest people, the people that really, really know me, know that I have a history of serious depression. And I've been suffering from depression since I was 16. No, actually, since I was 15 years old. And I've did treatments, so I took medications, I did therapy, psychotherapy, and CBT, all different types of therapies. And I also saw a psychiatrist when I was a teenager, because I was suffering of really serious anxiety and panic attacks. And so it was really, really scary. And I really felt like physically I was like feeling not in my body. So I had this sort of out of body experiences. And I feel so happy and proud of myself that I was, that I had the courage and the strength to ask for help. Well, more than ask, I demanded, because my family, my blood family, I don't talk to them anymore. So I always say blood family, okay, because I really don't have anything in common with them. So my blood family told me that, well, they didn't think that it was necessary for me to have therapy until I was really at the bottom. So when I reached the bottom, and then they saw that I was really hitting I was like in a really total darkness. And I don't want to get into the details, but I really was suicidal. Okay, I really had suicidal thoughts at the time. And so I think that we don't have to get to that point to seek professional help, right? And I'm so happy and proud of myself that I demanded that at the time, to have professional help. And I've been doing much better, so I don't have any more panic attacks, or I don't suffer from this sort of anxiety. I don't have any more this type of panic attacks and anxiety episodes. But I still suffer from depression from time to time. I really don't know what is the trigger. So what makes you feel depressed? That's what I've been thinking. What is it? I don't know about you, but I think there must be a trigger. So which are the triggers? Which are the triggers that cause this low mood, that cause feeling depressed? I think that, well, in my case, it's I've noticed that when I am sick, so even if I get like a cold, a very bad cold, so I've been sick and I had a very bad cold. After that, when I recover, after I recover, I start feeling depressed. So, and I don't know why this happens, but I think that it's something to do perhaps with the chemicals in the brain, and because I have been feeling basically tired, and I already have chronic fatigue and chronic pain. So perhaps something happens in my brain that triggers this depression when my body is not at its best. So when I am sick, when I'm recovering from the sickness, I don't have the energy, okay? I don't find the energy to be able to go back to my routine, okay? So perhaps it's something to do with the energy, our energy in the body, and also the chemicals in our brains. And when these chemicals are less present, it can trigger, this can be a trigger, the fact that our bodies don't have enough strength or enough energy. So in my case, sickness and any sort of sickness, if my chronic pain gets worse, usually I start feeling depressed. I think that, well, if a person doesn't have chronic pain and it feels depressed, there are so many things that can trigger depression. I think the first thing that comes in my mind, that I can think of is childhood trauma that are not solved. So memories, traumas of the past that a person hasn't faced, and issues that are not solved. And so things that you haven't solved can trigger this. Even a conversation with a person that brings you back these memories, okay, this sadness and this pain from the past. It does affect your present, and it can trigger depression. Another thing, it could be the weather. And if you live, I live in the UK when it's usually cold and it's always raining. And for me, it usually happens as a kind of a seasonal thing. So the darker the months become, and the darker basically is outside, and the more rain So the more rain I can see and I can, feel in the air, it is becoming even, colder and rainy and gloomy. It really affects my mood. So I've noticed that. And there's another thing that I think that can trigger depression. And I think social media can trigger depression. So social media and screen time. So if you stay a lot of time, if you spend a lot of time on the screen or on the social media using your phone or your laptop, and you don't really live in the reality, okay, in the real life, it's like you are losing, you're really losing the contact with what's real. And you are ultimately losing the connection with yourself, because it's like you are living in a reality which is not basically real, and it's not made of interaction. There are no human interaction. There is no real expression. There is no real connection with other human beings, and or even with yourself, because you find, yourself basically scrolling all the time and listening all the time to different type of things and watching different type of things on the social media. And you really don't have even the time to process the information. And I think it becomes overwhelming at times for your brain to process everything. And it also becomes very lonely and isolating, I think, to spend all that time, with your screen, okay? And so that's another thing that I think that can trigger depression. And another thing is when you are overworking or you have been working for a very long period, and perhaps to pay the bills or to cover basically your expenses, and you've been overworking, and then your body and your mind cannot sustain that type of stress anymore. And so it's when your brain says, okay, I can't do this anymore. And your body says as well, I can't do this anymore. And so that's when depression starts basically happening, and it's when you start going into this depression spiral. When we should seek professional help, and is it better to seek professional help? Let's talk about professional help versus self-help. So I personally don't think there is a rule. I think that there is nothing wrong with seeking professional help. I think that if you, for any reason, feel the need to talk to a professional about your mental health, you can do it. There is nothing wrong with that. And I believe that even if you have friends, or if you are lucky to have a family that understands you and supports you, there are things that we really can't tell, or we don't feel comfortable talking about with friends and family. So there are even things that our friends or our family cannot understand, or they don't necessarily know how to help you. So I would say go for it if you feel like you need to talk to a therapist. And if you are having a bad day, you can talk to a friend of yours if it's not something that it's happening many times, and if it's not something that is basically preventing you from doing your regular activities, then probably you don't need to talk to a therapist. You can talk to a friend if you're having a bad day, if your mood is low. But if you have been feeling for a week or even more over a week, if you have been feeling very low, and if your energy is becoming very low, if you don't feel motivated at all, if you feel that you don't feel anything, when you are doing your activities, if you don't have any motivation to work or even to go to see your friends, okay? If you really feel like depression is taking over and you don't have any control, you should see a therapist. And there are many ways you can basically talk to a therapist even without spending money if you don't have the budget. There are lots of free online resources. There are lots of numbers you can call. They are completely free, and you can call, and these lines, they are open 24 hours, so you can call anytime. I don't know which one are open during the night, but I think there are some that they do that as well, but I will link them below in the description for you. And so I would say there is no point of waiting to really be at the bottom. If you feel that you need help, just ask for help and talk to someone. And don't wait until the situation gets so bad that you cannot even, see basically you are like really at the bottom and you are in the depression spiral. Don't wait for that moment, okay? Act before that happens. There are things, though, that you can do for yourself. So, things to improve your mood. Which are the things that you can do to improve your mood? Self-help, okay? The things that I do to improve my mood, first things are, the first thing that I do when I feel down, I absolutely need to take my vitamins and to take all basically the supplements, food supplements, and sometimes I don't take them all the time. Sometimes I forget, and that's actually when my depression starts also to take over, because all of these food supplements, they've been really helping me. So the diet is very important. If you don't want to take food supplements, you can, just be very, very picky with the things that you eat and try to maintain a very healthy diet. And another thing that I use to improve my mood is herbal remedies. And at this point, I want to show you something that I usually use, that I've been using for years when I stopped taking a regular medication that have been prescribed from my GP. I didn't want to take them anymore because they had several side effects and I didn't like them. And so I was suffering from insomnia even more taking these antidepressants. And it was like my insomnia is really bad and it was getting even worse. So I decided to try this herbal remedy. Okay, it is called St. John's wort, and you can find it. I bought these in Boots, And this is a special, I think it's one of the last basically type of tablets they have basically produced. They are not the regular one. They are maximum strength. So yeah, St. John's Wort mood leaf tablets. The herb that is basically a herbal medicinal product is basically called St. John's Wort. And this is used for low mood, for mild anxiety. That is what it says on the package. But for me, it works for depression. As soon as I started taking these tablets, I just felt like a boost of energy and just more positive, more active, really, more active. But at the same time, I was feeling calm and relaxed, and I didn't feel anxious, and I didn't have any issue with my sleep. Whereas when I was taking these antidepressants prescribed by my GP, I noticed that my anxiety was maybe better, and my depression disappeared as well. But my insomnia got so worse, and I couldn't sleep at all, and so I was feeling even more tired. And yeah, my chronic fatigue also was worse than ever. So I decided to stop taking those medications, and I started taking this. So you can find it in Boots if you want to buy it, in a Boots store, if you have a Boots store around you. Or you can find it on Amazon, probably not the same, depending, or, if you are ordering it from the USA or the UK, in the UK. But yeah, St. John's Wort, I will link this in the description box for you guys. If you buy it from Amazon, even if you don't find the same one, I will take a commission. I receive a commission from Amazon for every product that basically I sell. So this is just a disclaimer. And another thing that I use generally I use it all the time for my pain, for my chronic pain, but I usually increase the dose, and I tend to use it even more when I'm feeling low and depressed. And it's called mineral bath flakes. So these are basically bath salts that you can use when you take a bath, and these are fantastic. I've been using them for over 2 years, and they are called magnesium flakes. The brand is Better You, 100% natural source magnesium. And it says, provides relief from tired and aching muscles, restoring balance to the body, and leaving skin feeling soft and smooth. So it's also very good for the skin. And I felt when I use them for when I take a bath and I use them, and I feel so relaxed afterwards. It's so good for my body and for my chronic pain, but also for my mental health. I just find that magnesium in general, it really helps you. It helps to increase basically your strength, and also your mood. It helps a lot to improve your mood. And so I really recommend this. And again, it's called magnesium flakes, mineral bath flakes, Better You. You will find the link in the description box. You can find this on Amazon. So I will leave the link below, okay? And another thing that I want to show you guys, that I actually just bought, I've noticed that, I don't know about you, but when I feel low and when I feel depressed, I start not taking care of my body. I'm not taking care of my hair, of my skin. And this is basically what depression does. You really don't have the strength to do anything. And even like, taking care of your body, something that we should do regularly. And it should be also a pleasure, to take care of yourself. But I've noticed that it's very hard for me to do that when I feel depressed. So I bought these also on Amazon. And I think that they have the best price now because there is Black Friday. And is amazing for the body. And it's also really, really good for your health, like your general health. So it's called Body Superfood. It's by Garnier, which is a brand that I absolutely love and adore. And it has vitamin C. And this is for basically a cream for the body, for the whole body. And it has vitamin C and mango, 97% natural origin. And yeah, so there is also cruelty free. So yeah, like respecting the animals, it's so important. We don't want to do like cruel experiments on them, to get our creams. So yeah, I really like the fact that they are also, considering this aspect. And yeah, it has vitamin C and it says hydrate skin up to 10 cell layers deep. And it's not greasy. When I try it, it's not greasy at all. It just really leaves your skin so soft. And I recommend this, especially for the winter right now, when your skin tends to get very dry. If you live, especially if you live in the UK or in cold countries, it's so good. But even if you don't live in a cold country, for the winter, this is like really helpful to have. And it also smells really, really good. Yeah, it smells so nice. It's really nice. It's so nice. It really smells of vitamin C, of orange. It's very, very nice. And it doesn't come in a box, which I think is better. So, it's less rubbish, it's very good for the environment to be, also consider that. And yeah. So this was the last product. So these are the things that I use, that I've been using. And this cream, I just got it and I've been using it for the last 2 days, but I already feel that it's working, and you will find the link in the description box. Now, what are the things that I do, that you can do to improve your mood? So, the first thing that I want to tell you, if you are overworking, please don't overwork while you are trying to fight depression, okay? Because it's going to make it worse. And try to not have unrealistic expectations. So try to be less a perfectionist and really just be happy with whatever you manage to accomplish, during this period. Just be compassionate and kind to yourself, okay? And probably focusing on just one thing, and try to not do multitasking. That could help a lot. And this is the first thing. So yeah, less perfection and more compassion, okay, towards yourself. Physical exercise, okay, that's something that I should do, and I will probably start again swimming, because I really love swimming. So keeping yourself fit, and yeah, physical exercise is so important while you are fighting depression or you are feeling really low. And whatever you find helpful, do it. If you go to the gym, try to be consistent. And that really helps, and it really helps to increase basically our dopamine and adrenaline. It increases adrenaline in our brain, and serotonin as well. There are a lot of chemicals in our brain that are released when we are practicing sports. So do that. And I would recommend at least 3 times per week. But if you don't manage right now, just start once, okay? Just do it once. And then even if you find difficult, to maintain that rhythm, really try to find at least one day per week when you practice sport, okay? When you do something physical, okay? A physical activity that could be swimming, that could be, lifting weights. What I would like to do, I always been really interested in martial arts. So if I hadn't chronic pain, I really would do martial arts. I tried actually once. It was more like self-defense, and it was so painful for me. I tried, I think I did it for like less than a month, but it was too painful for me, But if you can do it, that would be great, I think, because you can really release all the stress and anxiety with that. And swimming is really good. Being, in contact with the water, being in the water, I think for me is the best thing, that I find it so helpful when I'm not feeling 100%. So I recommend that. Things that we shouldn't do, that I shouldn't do, and that you shouldn't do when your mood is low or when you are feeling depressed. The first thing that you shouldn't do, that I shouldn't do, is drinking alcohol or taking drugs, because these things actually fuck up your brain. They can fuck your brain. They can really destroy even more cells. They actually increase depression. And yeah, these are the things absolutely you need to avoid those things. And I haven't been drinking for a while, actually. I don't drink anymore. It's very rare that I do that. But when my mood is low or when I'm feeling depressed, I never drink alcohol. I know that would be totally devastating for me if I do that. So please, guys, don't drink alcohol, don't take drugs if you're feeling low, because that will make things much, much worse. Another thing to avoid is probably unhealthy foods. So anything that, is really, really fat, like chocolate, which, dark chocolate is fine. I have it all the time. Or healthy bars, like protein bars with chocolate, those are fine. But not like, poor, like junk food, okay? Fried chips, crisps, and all of those, like snacks that are very unhealthy and full of sugar. Please, guys, don't do that, okay? It's going to make things worse. I absolutely avoid the sugar. I don't even have sugar in my coffee. Well, I like my coffee very strong, so I don't even have sugar in the coffee. And so, yeah, I avoid the foods that are full of sugar, okay? Because that would be even worse. Would make, your body even like more tired, and it's really not healthy. And I think it would probably make your depression even worse. So yeah, avoid the junk food, okay? Avoid unhealthy foods. Another thing that you shouldn't do when you feel depressed, you shouldn't watch toxic or depressive movies, and you should actually avoid watching the news because they are full of drama and toxicity, violence, and all of these negative energies. I feel like they have such a big impact on our mental health. So I try to avoid. I actually don't ever watch the news. Guys, I don't watch them. I just find out things from other people if they are relevant. Because, I mean, sometimes they are not even relevant. You know, many people are dying, you know, every day. But why do I have to know that? I mean, I already know it. So why do I have to go and look for this information and, you know, watch all of these things happening in the world if I can't do anything about that? You know, of course I can pray and I can hope for the best, but why would you torture yourself watching these things? Why would you do that? I mean, it's really so negative, and it really can affect even more your mental health. If you're already in a dark place, don't go and look and watch, you know, dark stuff and toxic and dramatic things. Okay, watch something uplifting, watch motivational videos, watch cartoons. Try to stay away from negativity in terms of, you know, media and TV and all of, you know, even social media platforms. Even social media platforms can be very negative and very dark at times, most of the times actually. So that's another thing that I personally would avoid. And the last question is how to get out of the spiral. To get out of the depression spiral, you need to really want it. And I know that this sounds, it can sound stupid, but it's not, because no one else can save you. You can only save yourself. So even if you are looking for a professional help, no one can do it for you, and no one can actually, you know, force you to do therapy or force you to improve your, you know, your mood. You have to want it. So the first thing is that, to get out of the spiral, you actually have to want it. It's the desire to want to be better, to want to feel better. So that's the first thing. And to do all of the things that I have, you know, told you, okay? Just go back, rewatch this video, and seeking professional help to get out of the spiral. Self-help to get out of the spiral. Understanding the causes, understanding why you are feeling how you're feeling. What are the triggers? What is triggering this? Are there any resources around me? Are there any other people around me that are able to help me with this? Understanding basically this, and using tools like the things that I have showed you guys, herbal remedies, which I personally recommend instead of medications. But I'm not a doctor, so if you're a doctor, if you see a therapist and he says, I think you should take these medications, do that, okay? Follow the advice of your therapist, and try to avoid all the negativity, okay, as much as you can. Try to eat healthy. Physical exercise, so sports, any activities that you like doing, do that. This also is very important. So rewatch the video. All the things that I said can really help you to get out of the depression spiral. And you don't have to do all together, okay? Step by step. I personally, I do things, step by step, once at a time, without feeling overwhelmed, without feeling that I have to do everything. So if it takes me, 3 hours or even 3 days to complete a task, I'm not going to be mad or upset or angry with myself. I'm going to be compassionate. I'm going to be kind and understand that it's just going to take more time for me to do that. But following all of these advices that I gave you, okay, it will help you. I really hope that this has helped you. And I really hope that you will follow my advices. Again, check the link in all the links in the description box, where you will find the products that I am using, that I've been using. Hopefully those products will help you as well. And let me know also in the comment section how you're doing, if you think you are struggling and why you're struggling. And I think it's important to talk about this topic. And I really want to know how you're doing, and let me know in the comment section. Just give me your feedback, okay, if this video has helped you. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done it yet. Don't forget to give me a like if you have enjoyed this video / podcast, okay? And I am sending you so much love, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye. Lots of love.